What is up, guys? Ron Purdy here from Techno Buffalo, and last month we heard an incredible announcement from Samsung. There was a brand new S7 and S7 Edge. Today I'm here in Santa Monica, California. It's beautiful weather, a little bit windy, still beautiful, very sunny and nice for me to get my tan on. And I wanted to take a look at the S7 Edge, see if it would live up to the hype. We're filming on it right now so you guys can see what the front-facing camera looks like. Lots and lots of features to take a look at, new waterproofing. I'm very, very excited, so let's go ahead and get started. First things first, when you pick up this phone, you're going to be looking at the design, and this phone looks fantastic. The S7 Edge to me is one of the best designed phones I have ever seen. Now, from the S6 Edge and S6 Edge Plus, it is minor improvements. Your camera hump on the back is flattened out a little bit. Your thumbprint reader on the front is a little bit flattened out a little bit. The whole package is just smoother, slicker. But the highlight moment to me for the design of this phone is something that's not talked about very often in the mobile phone world. We all carry phones nowadays, and they've become extensions of who we are. The phone you use, the OS you use, the case you have on it, the color you buy it in, it says something about you, just the way your clothes say something about you, and your shoes, and your jewelry. And this phone is really like a piece of jewelry. In gold, it is super flashy, it looks awesome. It's a very superficial thing, but I didn't feel lame carrying it around. I felt awesome and I wanted to tell people about it. In terms of build quality, it's as good as anything I've ever used, probably even better. It's been mentioned a couple times that Samsung actually made this phone a little bit thicker than the previous gen S6 Edge, and all the better for it because, again, it just feels fantastic. The back curve that they've brought in from the Note 5 is a very welcome addition. It's a bunch of small additions that make this a fantastic phone to hold and to use on a day-to-day basis. Still a fingerprint magnet, and the edge screens make it a little bit tough to pick up from time to time, but nothing you can't get over for looking and feeling like a badass. So what are the differences here in specs between the S6 Edge and the new S7 Edge? Well, first off, it's the display size. Now it's been up to a 5.5-inch display, so it's in between what the S6 Edge was and the S6 Edge Plus was. In my opinion, it's the perfect screen size. Resolution is still 1440 by 2560, which 4K is not really needed here. I'm more than happy with that resolution. When first looking at the camera, it might seem like Samsung actually downgraded it, going from 16 megapixels to 12 megapixels, but megapixels are purely resolution, and that matters more when printing, not so much when viewing on regular computer and phone displays. So instead of focusing on the megapixel count, what they did was go from an f1.9 aperture to an f1.7, so they opened it up a little bit. They went from a 28mm lens to a 26mm lens on the back, so it's a little bit wider field of view now. And overall, this is probably one of the best cameras, if not the best cell phone cameras I have ever used. Samsung has really been killing it as of late with their cameras. That being said, this is probably the first time I'd feel comfortable with saying that you can leave your point and shoot at home. Not saying this is as good as some high-end point and shoots, not saying this is a DSLR replacement, but in terms of convenience and the trade-off of losing a little bit of photo quality for only having to carry one device, I think the photos that come out of the S7 are more than good enough for your average consumer's needs. As usual, I'm a huge fan of the front-facing ultra-wide lens camera. That is fantastic for all my Snapchatting needs. Something to note, however, is that when you shoot video within Samsung's own camera app, that ultra-wide-angle front-facing camera becomes just a standard front-facing camera when you're shooting video. And so speaking of the camera and notable features on the S7 Edge, I did what any 5-year-old does at a restaurant, and I shoved my phone into my glass of water to see if it would hold up with the IP68 rating, and I can confirm that it does. I followed this up with going to the playground, and instead of testing dust, I went for full-on sand. Something that Todd noted while reviewing the phone was that the fingerprint reader, while it's good enough, is not as quick as the iPhone or Huawei's fingerprint reader on the Nexus phones and such. Moving on to the always-on display, I have no emotions about this. It's a new feature, I guess. It doesn't really change my usage of the phone at all. I had some problems getting used to it because I kept thinking my phone was actually unlocked, but honestly that's probably questioning my intelligence, not so much Samsung's new feature. And to wrap up with one of the big things, and literally big because it made the phone thicker, is the battery. At 3600 milliamp hours, the battery will last you a full day, most of the time more than a full day with heavy usage. Coupled with adaptive fast charging and wireless charging, you're more than covered when it comes to battery and power. Now, one of the big differentiating factors between the S7 and the S7 Edge is obviously the Edge. Just like before, I think it's more of a gimmick than anything else. I think it's more for aesthetic appeal. Unfortunately, no real functionality added. So those are my thoughts on the new Galaxy S7 Edge. Of course, you have support for micro SD cards, which is cool. I'm not a huge micro SD card user. I'm much more a fan of using cloud storage and internal storage. That works fine for me. I know John has some stronger opinions on it, so check out the S7 review for that. And while I had almost only positive things to say about the S7 Edge, I gotta say, if I was a buyer in the market and had to put my dollar behind a phone, I would probably use this opportunity to grab an S6 Edge Plus or an S6 Edge at a cheaper price. The improvements on the S7 Edge are good, marginal at best, nothing too crazy. And speaking of marginal and nothing too crazy, we did see a processor upgrade up to a Snapdragon 820 and Exynos 8890 octa processor, but it's not like the S6 Edge was slow before. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think it's worth the upgrade? Would you guys spend the extra money on it? What are your opinions and thoughts? I always love to know. I genuinely try to respond to like 98% of the comments. Sorry to that 2%. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Hit subscribe for more awesome content because we always have it coming, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.